Chantal Meloni Wikipedia. Chantal Meloni is Associate Professor of Criminal Law at the University of Milan, where she teaches the International Criminal Law course. After graduating in law in 1998, he practiced law at the Pedrazzi Mucciarelli law firm and obtained the title of lawyer in 2001 at the Court of Appeal of Milan. You attended the doctorate course in Italian and Comparative Criminal Law at the University of Pavia and obtained the title of PhD in 2006. During the doctoral course, you specialized in international criminal law. To this end, you have carried out long research stays at universities and research centers abroad. In 2002-2003, she interned for a few months at the International Human Rights Law Institute of the DePaul University of Chicago, USA, under the direction of Professor Cherif Bashini, and since 2003 she has spent long periods as a guest research fellow at the Lehrstuhl of International Criminal Law of the Humboldt-Universität of Berlin, headed by Professor Gerhard Worrell. In 2006, she was a visiting professional at the International Criminal Court, ICC, in The Hague, Netherlands. And in 2007, she worked as a legal assistant to the judges of the pretrial chamber of the same court on the cases of Uganda, Congo, and Darfur. From 2011 to 2014, she was the holder of a research grant from the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation at the Humboldt-Universität in Berlin, Lehrstuhl Professor G. Worrell, where she worked on a research project on the protection of the right to life and responsibility for war crimes in the context of asymmetric conflicts. As part of this project, from February to September 2010, she was in Gaza, Palestine, where she collaborated with the Palestinian Center for Human Rights. She collaborates with the European Center for Constitutional and Human Rights, ECCHR, in Berlin, in particular on projects relating to international crimes and the principle of universal jurisdiction, and is included in the list of assistant lawyers at the International Criminal Court. In addition to his regular teaching activity at UNIMI, he has held seminars and lectures on international criminal law in various Italian, Bicocca di Milano, Trieste, Trento, and Pavia, and foreign universities, Humboldt of Berlin, Technische of Berlin. She has been a speaker at numerous international conferences and workshops on international criminal law and was invited as an expert to round tables organized by the UN on international law and the Palestinian situation. From 2011 to 2015, you taught at the Masters, LLM, Summer School on Transnational Criminal Justice at Humboldt University in partnership with the University of the Western Cape, South Africa. She was also a teacher at the Master on International Crime and Justice organized by UNICRI in Turin and took part as a speaker in numerous conferences, seminars, and meetings on the subject of international criminal law in Italy and abroad. He is a member of several national and international research projects on criminal law, international criminal law, and human rights. In particular, she was a member of the project Good Practices for Protecting Victims Inside and Outside the Criminal Process, financed with EU funds and coordinated by Professor L. Luperia, UNIMI. She was a Maria Curie Scholar in 2008/2009, as a member of a research project on the fragmentation of international criminal law at the Grotius Center for International Legal Studies in The Hague and Leiden University, Netherlands. He edits the part of the Supranational Justice Review of the Rivista Italiana di Diritto e Procedura Penale relating to the International Criminal Court, on a quarterly basis. She is the author of a blog on Fatto Quotidiano in which she discusses international criminal justice. You have published several contributions in non-legal journals and some newspapers, including a report on torture in Italy which appeared in UNITA, June 26, 2009. Publications. Chantal Meloni's scientific production concerns in particular the topic of individual criminal responsibility for international crimes and the protection of victims of international crimes, including the use of international justice mechanisms, primarily the International Criminal Court. She is the author of the volume Command Responsibility in International Criminal Law, 2010, TMC Asser, 276 pages, and is the editor, with G. Tognoni, of the volume Is There a Court for Gaza? A Test Bench for International Justice, 2012. TMC Asser/Springer, 600 pages. Articles in specialized journals and contributions in collective volumes. Selection. State and individual responsibility for targeted killings by drones, in F. Santilli de Saio and E. D. Nucci, eds, Drones and Responsibility, Legal, Philosophical and Socio-Technical Perspectives on the Use of Remotely Controlled Weapons, Ashgate, 2016. 47-64. The Issues of Responsibility for Genocide in International Criminal Law, Between the Collective Dimension and Individual Accusation, International Precept and International Assessment, in Human Rights and International Law, Volume 9, March 2015. 589-607, The Evolution of Command Responsibility in International Criminal Law, in M. Bergsmo, C. Wui Ling, S. Tianying and Y. Ping, eds, Historical Origins of International Criminal Law, Volume 3, Torkel Upsal Academic Publisher, Brussels 2015, ISBN 978-82-8348-015-3, 683-714. Jurisdictional Immunity of States, the Italian Constitutional Court v. the International Court of Justice? Brief Notes on the Judgment No. 238 of October 22, 2014 of the Italian Constitutional Court, in Zeitschrift für Internationalstrafrechtsdogmatik, and June 2015, 59-63. Command Responsibility, Joint Commission and Control over the Crime Approach in the First ICC Jurisprudence, in T. Murniello, edition, The International Criminal Court in Search of Its Purpose and Identity, 2015, Routledge, 39-56. Victims and International Criminal Justice, in L. Luperia, edition, The European Statute of Crime Victims. Protection Models Between Union Law and National Good Practices, 2015, Sedum/Kluwer, in Italian and English, 45-59. Fragmentation of the Notion of Co-Perpetration in International Criminal Law, in L. van den Herik and C. Ston, eds, The Diversification and Fragmentation of International Criminal Law, 2012, Brill/Martinus Nijhoff Publishers, 483-504. The International Criminal Court's Impasse over Libya, Contemporary Criminal Law, June 1, 2012. With S. Manacorda, Indirect Perpetration versus Joint Criminal Enterprise, Concurring Approaches in the Practice of the International Criminal Law? Journal of International Criminal Justice, 2011, 159-178. An important ruling from the Strasbourg Court regarding the protection of human rights in the context of military missions abroad, Contemporary Criminal Law, November 2, 2011. Superior responsibility for acts of torture committed by subordinates under international criminal law, the case of U.S. abuse against Iraqi prisoners, in S. Manacorda and A. Nieto, eds. Criminal Law Between War and Peace, Justice and Cooperation in Criminal Matters in International Military Interventions, University of Castilla de la Mancha, Cuenca, 2009. Command Responsibility, Motive Liability for the Crimes of Subordinates or Separate Offense of the Superior, Journal of International Criminal Justice, 2007, 619-637. Superior responsibility for acts of torture committed by subordinates under international criminal law, the case of U.S. abuse against Iraqi prisoners, Cahiers de droit de défense sociale, 2006, 91-121 and Revista Brasileira de Ciências Criminais N. 70, 2007, 9-40. The First Steps of the International Criminal Court, the decision confirming the accusations against Thomas Lubanga Diallo, Corriere del Merito, 2007, 885-888. The Protection of Child Soldiers in International Law and Responsibility for International Crimes, in Criminal Cassation, 2006, 1139-1149. Contributions in Collective Volumes. The Participation of Victims Before the International Criminal Court, in P. Corso e Zanetti, edition, Studies in Honor of Mario Pisani, La Tribuna, 2010. Author of 12 entries in A. Cassesi et al., edition, The Oxford Companion to International Criminal Justice, Oxford University Press, 2009. Commentary on the sentencing judgment, Prosecutor vs. Darko Murda, IT 02-59S, TCH March 31, 2004, in A. Clip and G. Sluter, eds. Annotated Leading Cases of International Criminal Tribunals, Volume 19, The International Criminal Tribunal for the Former Yugoslavia, Intersentia, 2009.